Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is having an amazing Friday so far. I know it's the weekend, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining on our YouTube live today. Thank you so much. My name is Diana with the Amazing Elite Realty and Keller Williams. And today we have a very important topic to talk about. We are going to talk about buying land in Texas. And the main reason of why I decided to speak about this topic is because recently we have had a lot of people reach out to us regarding questions that they have about buying land. So this is going to cover a lot of stuff, and it may be a lot of information, but that's why we're here. If you guys have any questions after this live, or you can enter your questions during the live, and we'll be more than happy to answer for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So buying land in Texas, these are the key things that you need to know before you even start the process, right? So we have to confirm that the seller is the legal owner of the property, correct? Because we have seen some cases to where the person selling the land is not even the owner. So we have to make sure that we confirm that the seller is the legal owner of the land. The other thing we have to do is a title search with the title company. Check for liens, unpaid taxes, or disputes. This is very important. We have to check for zoning and land use. Confirming the zoning, whether it's residential, agricultural, or commercial, is very important, because you have to make sure that your intent to use is allowed. Let's say that you want to buy the land because you want to have animals, right? Or you want to eventually have commercial. If this is something that it's allowed. Sometimes, depending on the county or the deed restrictions, those type of things are not going to be allowed. So we have to watch for the deed restrictions or HOA rules if the land has an HOA. So it's very important that we do check for those type of things. The other thing that we have to check for is the current survey. We have to confirm the property lines. Sometimes people can say that they're selling 1 acre, and when you get the survey, it's a little bit less than an acre. So we have to make sure that you get the survey and we're confirming the property lines. We have to look for easements and encroachments. So when you get a real estate agent, when you work with a real estate agent, this is something that we do. We advocate for everything, and we have to make sure that we get all that information to our clients to make sure that they're getting what they really want. The other thing that we have to check is the utility and access. We have to check whether the land already has water, septic, or electricity available. If not, this is something that the buyer is going to have to get, and this is going to cost you a little bit more to make sure that those services are available to the land. Another question that we have to ask, is there legal road access? Because eventually you don't know if in the future there's going to be development. So we have to make sure that easements for driveways or utilities, if that's something that's already there or that's going to happen in the future. For Texas specific considerations, we have to make sure that the deed type, is it a warranty deed or a quitclaim deed? Are the mineral rights going to convey with the sale? Mineral rights may be separated. So that's another thing that we have to make sure that we're checking for you, because they can be selling you the land but not the mineral rights. The property tax history and exceptions. We have to make sure that the person who's selling the property doesn't owe any taxes. We have to make sure that we are fully aware of the exceptions for the land. We have to make sure about the flood zones, check those FEMA maps to make sure that the land, it's not in a flood zone. The other thing that we really strongly suggest is to always use a written purchase agreement. We have seen a lot of cases where there's a lot of advertising about seller doing the finance, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually legal for the seller to offer the finance. But we have to make sure that it's a written purchase agreement. We have to also use a title company. It's very important to use a title company and to get insurance, to get title insurance for the buyer's protection. This is something very, very important that usually people try to bypass those type of things, and they end up getting in trouble. They end up finding out later eventually that there's some issues with the land. Another financial factor about the land is that usually land requires a bigger down payment. So we have to check again for property taxes, HOA, if there's anything that it's owed. We have to make sure that we are aware of that. The other thing you want to ask is again about the county and the city development. What is the future for the land? Because if you're trying to find land and you're trying to find land outside of the city limits because it's more quiet, there's really not much development going on at this point, but you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe they're gonna, like where they building the Samsung factory over there, so that's going to eventually develop even more. So that's something that you also want to keep in mind about future development. And as a final tip, always involve a Texas title company or a real estate attorney. This is very important because this is going to protect you to make sure that the deal closes safely, and it's going to secure the entire process. So this is really a protection for you. I know, like I said, a lot of people think that a realtor is not needed, but this is a lot of the things that we do to make sure that we're advocating for our clients. So if you guys have any questions, if you know anyone that is interested in purchasing land, please let us know. We're here to help you. Our consultation is completely free. There's no obligation. We're happy to help you. Thank you for joining this Friday. I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.